sports all plays. Yeah. All sports all plays. All sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports all plays.
Good morning. Welcome to the All Sports, All Place in the Morning. I am your host, Ray. We have some changes coming up on the on this show here. We have some people that are working, and we're trying to make some progress here. I work on Mondays and Fridays. I will be here on Tuesdays. I won't be here this Wednesday, but we will be back next Wednesday on the All Sports, All Place in the Morning show. I will be on Thursday of this week. Right now, we're going through some times that we are trying to recruit some more people. If you're a sports fan or a podcaster for sports and you're watching this show, hook us up at, the All Sports, All Place network. You can email us. If you're interested, go to our Facebook. You can message us on our Facebook page, on the All Sports, All Place Facebook page. There too, if you want to look into joining shows. So we're trying to recruit more people so we can add more people to different shows here, especially on the All Sports, All Place in the Morning, since this is a 5-day show, Monday through Fridays. But the last few weeks, we have not been on 5 days. We have some stuff that's going on. People are got to provide for their families too. So it's some of the people are going away from this show. Will be joined as they can. Like I can, because I provide for my family. I Uber Mondays and Fridays here because those are the two best days here in Jacksonville to Uber in the morning time frames when my kids are at school. So that's going on. So let's welcome everybody to the show. Let's get some important information out first. If you're joining us on Facebook, and if you like the content that the All Sports, All Place Network is putting out, like the All Sports, All Place Morning Show, like the Afternoon Blitz, like the Easy Money Betting, Herd in the Huddle. If you like the Cleveland Sports, Rachel Hill does a very good job there, broadcasting her show simultaneously while she's on the radio through the All Sports, All Place Network. Real Talk on Mondays. Today we got stuff coming up here today. After this show will be the Afternoon Blitz, Easy Money. Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill is coming up later on tonight. So we have you covered. You can go to the All Sports, All Place. Go to ASAP TV Network.net. Here's our website. The schedule is there. Each day, you can look at each day and plan your day out, which shows you want to watch here on the All Sports, All Place Network. I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. I am Ray Cruz. Like I said, I am your host here on the All Sports, All Place in the Morning show today. Today, we have covered. We're going to talk about Tom Brady's comeback. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now back at 500. At 6-6, and has a 1-game lead in the NFC South. So Tom Brady with that great comeback last night against the New Orleans Saints. First time they have won. Tampa has won with Brady at a quarterback against the New Orleans Saints and scored at home against the New Orleans Saints in Tampa. So that's a very interesting climax there. Brady, after the game, stated that New Orleans always give them trouble because they have a great style defense. They pressure the ball very well. He didn't say too much of implementing of that, writing him off and stuff like that. But some people have writing him off a little bit here, saying he's taking a step back a little bit. But he still had it in the magical moments of the game to coming back and leading them to that victory at the end of the football game. So you got to get your hats off to Tom Brady and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New Orleans Saints. We're going to talk a little bit about that game here. We're also going to talk about prime time. Deion Sanders taking the coaching job at Colorado. We're going to talk about that. We're going to bring that down a little bit in depth. And we're going to also talk about the dreaded the most intensifying of all college sports, not the playoffs, not the championship, the transfer portal. We're going to talk a little bit about the transfer portal, but people are now entering the transfer portal. Some teams are being hit harder than others, like University of North Carolina. Like Alabama's been hit a couple times there. And there is I think a person said for Alabama, said he is transferring to Colorado to be with Primetime. And also, we're going to talk about Jackson State, and there are a few people Primetime said he's bringing about 10 people with him in his press conference to the players. He's also told some comments about the players. If you don't want to be here, you might as well go hit the transfer portal. He's not holding back. I like Deion Sanders. I like this approach to the game of football. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to break that down, what he said in his press conference at Colorado, the way he's putting people on notice. I mean, he is electrifying. I like the way he mixing with God and his message, mixing in with God and teaching his players to be professional. And that's something that you really haven't seen in some of these coaches today. I mean, some of them are letting the solemn rule them, but Deion Sanders said he's come to an old school approach. So we're going to talk a little bit about his old school approach and how he gets that in, and how some media people don't like the way he is jumping into a Power 5 conference, leaving Jackson State. I mean, you got to give the man props. He took Jackson State to prominence and took the HBU by storm, but he also did not forget about the HBUs. And I think some of his things I think University of Colorado is writing Jackson State and the HBU some money and helping them out. And I think Prime is going to still be a pivotal part in the HBU process, but he has moved on to the Power 5 conference and the Pac-12, putting Colorado on notice. So we're going to see how he did not give a timetable, how he going to get Colorado back into the promised land. He said that it will get there, but he does not set a timetable. And I like that approach too, because you don't want to give out too much information. And then if it don't work, it doesn't come back to you, because you did state that you did not give a timeline. So we're going to talk about that too. So got a lot going on here on the All Sports All Place in the morning. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the All Sports All Place Network. I am Ray Cruz. Be right back.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the diamond in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays. Like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Hey everyone, Kelsey Nicole Nelson here, a DMV-based sports reporter and host, working right now with the Draft Network and listening with KNN on Fox Sports Radio, as well as many other things as well. If it's in DC, I cover it, trying to bring the sports fans the knowledge and news that they need. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about myself. I'm here to tell you all about the ASAP Sports Network. That's All Sports, All Plays Network, because let me tell you, the fellas bring the heat each and every show and each and every time they come on. I've had a chance and a privilege to be a special guest. I'm already looking forward to the next time. But again, the ASAP Network is going to be one that you all want to check out on social media, because there's good sports shows, and then there's great sports shows, and then there's the ASAP Sports Network. Check them out on social media. You won't be disappointed. Again, give me my endorsement to them because they're just that good. So be sure to check them out. You won't regret it. Bye, guys.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Place in the morning on the All Sports All Place Network. I am Ray Cruz. Let's get started here. We're going to talk about the Monday Night Football that happened. New Orleans went down to Tampa. Tampa Bay Buccaneers won 17-16 over the New Orleans Saints. They take a one-game lead in the NFC South Division. They're now back at 500. Tom Brady's got the team back at 500 at 6-6. This game was very close contested. Tampa Bay went up in the first quarter 3-0 on a field goal. New Orleans come back in the second quarter, scored 10 points in the second quarter to take a halftime lead, 10-3. And then New Orleans came back in the third quarter, took a score of 3-3. Kicked the field goal and went up 13-3. And then the fourth quarter started. They kicked the field goal and it went up 16-3. But Tom Brady has brought Tampa Bay Buccaneers back with 14 points in the fourth quarter to come back and win 17-16. Tom Brady's. If you look at the first down in this game here, first down was total 25 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to 14 for the New Orleans Saints. That was 19 by passing on first down was 19 of the 25 to their 12 by New Orleans. First down rushing was 1 by New Orleans, 4 by Tampa, and then Tampa Bay's also got 2 on penalties. They kept the drives going. New Orleans got 1 from Tampa Bay's penalties. There were 8 for 15 in third down conversions for the Tampa Bay and 5 of 14 for New Orleans. No teams went for fourth down on the efficiency. That's your efficiency report there on the All Sports All Place in the morning on the Monday Night Football contest. Total plays. This is where you get it here. This is the disparity of the total plays here. 56 from New Orleans to 75. Total yards, 350 on the offense for Tampa. And you want to break that down a little bit. They had 11 drives. Both teams had 11 drives. But the 350 yards, you want to break that down a little bit. 3 for 30, 36 for 54, 5 yards per pass, 1 interception, 1 for 7. He had 1 sack for 7. He lost 7 yards on the sack. That broke down to 350 for the passing part of the yards. It was 274 out of that 350. And then the rushing was Malai. Both teams were Malai on the rushing. Both teams had pretty good defense on there. That 76 out of the 350 for his own total rushes on 20 attempts, 3.8 yards per carry. If you look at the Saints breaking down their 298, they had 11 drives. Their average yards per play was 5.3. 232 yards of the 298 yards was in through the air. Dalton was 21 out of 29, 7.5 yards per pass. And he was sacked twice for 18 yards. And they only rushed. The rushing out of the 298 yards for them was 66 on 25 attempts, 2.6 yards a carry. On the red zone, that was a big hit for New Orleans. New Orleans was 0-3 in the red zone, and Tampa was 2 for 3 in the red zone area. You look at the penalties. Once again, New Orleans had most penalties, six penalties for 84 yards to 4 penalties for 39 yards. And the turnover battle was won by New Orleans, but Tampa had 2 turnovers. One was on a fumble, one was thrown on an interception. But time of possession, Tampa won that with 30 minutes and 5 seconds to 29 out of 55 into this broadcast of 60 minutes. That's how you broke it down on that. But the miracle drive in that fourth quarter, I'm going to take you back a little bit of the plays in that fourth quarter there for the New Orleans Saints. And the touchdown drives here that they had in this fourth quarter. This fourth quarter was, unbelievable here in this ball game here. So let's take a look here at the fourth quarter drives here on this play. So let's take a look here And this is all in the fourth quarter right here for these plays here. I'm going to take you back to two things here. If you look at this when the fourth quarter began and when the New Orleans Saints got that 3 points, they came back and got that field goal. They left about 6 minutes and 51 seconds in this contest here in the fourth quarter. They scored on 6 minutes and 51 seconds on the play and drive, but they continued that from the third quarter up to now. So if you look at this situation here, I mean, if you look at that field goal drive was there, but then came back and we had punt by Tampa on the 3 plays. The drive was 1 minute and 8 seconds, 0 yards. We had a punt 3 plays for 9 yards, 1 minute and 33 seconds for the Saints. And then this is where the fun began for Tampa here on this thing here. If we look at the this touchdown, first touchdown went 10 plays, 91 yards, 2 minutes and 21 seconds. And this is how it went. First and 10 at Tampa Bay's 9. With the 5 minutes and 41 second shotgun, Tom Brady was incomplete. You know, let's go all the way back to when the drive first started here. And when this drive went and started on their own 9-yard line. 5 minutes and 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Shotgun, Tom Brady passes incomplete, short left to Chris Godwin. If you look at the second and 10 at the Tampa 9, 5 minutes and 18 seconds in the fourth quarter. Shotgun, Brady's pass, short, middle to Chris Godwin to Tampa Bay 22 for 13 yards. Continue on at the 5-minute mark. First and 10 at Tampa 22. No huddle shotgun. Tom Brady passing complete to short left to Jones, the wide receiver. So now if you look at this here, that was incomplete. Second and 10 at the Tampa 22. 4 minutes and 53 seconds. No huddle shotgun formation. Tom Brady pass short right to Mike Evans. Pushed up OB at the Tampa 36 for 14 yards. Matthew on the tackle for the Saints. Look at first and 10 at the Tampa 36. We are at 4 minutes and 30 seconds of the fourth quarter. No huddle short shotgun formation. Tom Brady pass short left to Jones to the Tampa 44 for 8 yards. Continue right along. Second and two at the Tampa 44. We are still at no huddle shotgun formation. Pass shotgun short. The pass short middle to Leonard Fournette to the New Orleans 46 with 10 yards. These drives are meticulously moving down the field here. And this drive for the first touchdown to get it back within 7. So we're going to continue right along here. We got second and 1 at the New Orleans 37. Leonard Fournette left tackle to New Orleans 35 for 2 yards. Davenport with the tackle for the Saints. First and 10 at the New Orleans 35. No huddle shotgun formation. Tom Brady incomplete deep middle to Odin. Second and 10 at New Orleans 35. No huddle shotgun formation. Tom Brady pass short right to Leonard Fournette to the New Orleans 29 for 6 yards. Penalty. Tampa Bay Smith offensive holding 10 yards and force at the New Orleans 35. No play. So we got a penalty on that one. Continue second and 20 at the New Orleans 45 with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter. No huddle shotgun formation. Tom Brady's pass incomplete deep middle to Mike Evans. K Street penalty on New Orleans. Pete Adibo defensive pass interference 44 yards and force to the New Orleans 45. No huddle. No play, I mean. Now we get down to here. We get down to first and goal with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Shotgun formation. Tom Brady. Kate Odin pass from Tom Brady for 1 yard. The extra point was good. Scooby. So now I cut the lead down to 7. Or I actually cut the lead down to 6. So at the time it's 16-10. So New Orleans gets the ball back. All New Orleans has to do is to get one first down to get this game. So that puts all the mix. All you got to look here is Tampa Bay's defense has got to stop them. The Saints offense has got to move the ball and get some first downs to ice the game. That's what you're looking at here. 3 plays, a -7 yards for 31 seconds that New Orleans Saints has held the ball. When they got the ball back, they had to punt it. They had to punt it. So they punted, they kicked it 65 yards to the Tampa 35 to the end zone is a touchback. We're now looking at the game winning at the current drive here. Look at this. I mean, that is unbelievable. That what we saw here. They kicked it. They got the kickoff. Touchback. 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 25. New Orleans got the ball. Shotgun formation. Al Kamara left in to the New Orleans 28 for 3 yards. Timeout 1 by Tampa Bay at the 2 minutes and 54 seconds. 2nd and 7 at the New Orleans 28. Pennington reports in as new eligible receiver at eligible player for New Orleans. Dalton sacked at the New Orleans 18 for 10 yards by Nesbitt. Now we go to 2 minutes and 47 seconds. We have that timeout at that time. The second timeout used by Tampa Bay, the 2:47 mark in the 4th quarter. This is the New Orleans drive. 3rd and 17 at the New Orleans 18. 2 minutes and 47 seconds in the 4th quarter. Shotgun formation. Andy Dalton passes incomplete deep left to Tyrone Hill. Now, you stop the clock on that play. They stopped the clock. They didn't have to use that time. They didn't have to use their 3rd timeout because they stopped the clock on an incomplete pass. I understand what they're trying to do, trying to get that first down. I would have handed the ball off so it would take some more time or force them to use that last timeout before the 2-minute warning mark because they would still had a timeout. No timeouts, 2 minutes coming up. I would have done that. I would have took the clock down a little bit more. Probably you could have got it to the 2-minute warning. If Tampa didn't take that last time, I will wait until after 2 minutes so they can, it would be 4th down, so they have to punt after the 2-minute mark, so they could have saved that one last time out too. So any way you look at it, they could have took the clock all the way down to 2 minutes. If Tampa didn't use that, or forced Tampa to use that last time out, then they will have that punt and then the 2-minute warning coming up. Only thing they can stop the clock with. But they didn't. They pass an incomplete pass, stops that clock. So that incomplete pass came at 2 minutes and 39 seconds. But look at that 4th down and 17 at the New Orleans 18. They come in and punt, 45-yard punt to Tampa 37. It was down about Woods for New Orleans. Now this is the interesting part here. All this New Orleans Saints has to do is keep Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay's offense out of the end zone. Field goal does not win this ball game. A touchdown wins this ball game, and an extra point wins this ball game. That's what you're looking at for the New Orleans Saints at this time of the ball game. Once again, we only got 2 minutes and 29 seconds left in the 4th quarter. 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 37-yard line. First play, shotgun formation. Tom Brady pass short left to Jones to the Tampa Bay 42 for 5 yards. We go to no huddle, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Tom Brady pass short, middle to Godwin to the New Orleans 49 for 9 yards. We are now at 1:59 mark. We're at the 2-minute warning. Shotgun formation coming out of the 2-minute warning. Tom Brady pass short left to Odin. Pushes up to the New Orleans 41 for 8 yards. Matthew tackles for New Orleans. Clock still moving. We at 1 minute 54 with the huddle, no huddle formation. Leonard Fournette up the middle to New Orleans 31 for 10 yards. Now we're getting interesting here. We at the 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. No huddle shotgun formation. First and 10 at the New Orleans 31. Tom Brady pass short left to Odin to the number 20 to the New Orleans 27-yard line for 4 yards. Time still ticking. 2nd and 6 at the New Orleans 27. 1 minute and 1 second in the fourth quarter. No huddle shotgun formation. Tom Brady pass incomplete short left to Odin. That brings up the 3rd down and 6 at the New Orleans 27. 58 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Shotgun formation. Tom Brady pass short left to Miller to the New Orleans 20 for 7 yards. Now we're losing some more time here. 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 20 at the 39-second mark left in the fourth quarter. New Orleans still up 16-10. No huddle formation, shotgun formation. Tom Brady pass short left to Jones to the New Orleans 5 for 15 yards. We are now at 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Timeout, New Orleans at 19-second mark. So they took that timeout just to get everything situated on their defense so they could make a defense conscious interest what they're going to do. Coming out of the timeout, we had 19 seconds, 4th down, shotgun formation, Tom Brady pass, short middle to Godwin for 5 yards. Touchdown nullified, penalty on Tampa Bay's Smith, offensive holding, 10 yards and force at the New Orleans 5, no play. That took 3 seconds off the clock. They left 16 seconds. Tom Brady pass, incomplete, short middle to Godwin. That took 4 seconds. Now we had 2nd and goal at New Orleans 15 at the 12-second mark in the fourth quarter. Shotgun formation, Tom Brady pass short right to Godwin. Pushes up to the New Orleans 6 for 9 yards. New Orleans calls their second timeout at the 8-second mark. Now we're getting very interesting here. 3rd down and goal at the New Orleans 6. We got 3 seconds. At the 3-second mark, the pass was passed from Tom Brady to Rachaad White for 6 yards. Touchdown. They couldn't keep him out. Scope extra point is good. We have a penalty on New Orleans for leverage, 15 yards and force between downs. We have a 17-16 ball game with 3 seconds to go in the game. The kickoff was 50 yards into the end zone, touchback. The last play of the game with New Orleans at 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 25, shotgun formation. Dalton pass short right to Shaheed to the New Orleans 34 for 9 yards. Fumbles touch at New Orleans 29, recovered by New Orleans Landry at the New Orleans 29. Landry to the New Orleans 31 for 2 yards. Fumble recovered by Kamara at the New Orleans 23. Kamara to the New Orleans 35 for 12 yards. Ball game. What a comeback by Tom Brady. Comes back and wins his first game against New Orleans in Tampa. Since joining Tampa Bay here. So, that's what you're looking at here. That difference in ball games, how they run their offense, and some key moments here, some timeout moments kind of helped them too by New Orleans. Had to call these 2 timeouts. Still letting the clock run. Both teams had some critical setbacks. Tampa had some setbacks with some holding calls. But still, they found a way. Tom Brady found a way to get them into the end zone for the game winning on Monday Night Football. How awesome can that be? Tampa, getting them back to 500, 6-6, dropping New Orleans 4-9. So you want a credible Monday Night Football game? You got one. You had an interesting game all the way through. It was a low-scoring game. But Tom Brady at the end of the night pushed Tampa ahead to win the game, secure their one-game lead in the NFC South, and continue their playoff run, trying to get back into the playoffs. If you have any questions, you go ahead and you can submit the questions on our YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can submit it through YouTube chat. If you're on Twitch, you can do that on Twitch chat. If you're on Facebook, you can message us through Facebook. I'd like to hear some of your comments on Monday Night Football and what's going on in the college football world. The college playoffs are set. When we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit of the college situation with Deion Sanders going from Jackson State. And from Jackson, Mississippi to Boulder, Colorado, to the University of Colorado, and the interesting stuff that he has said to the team and the press conference. We'll talk about a little bit of the highlights of that press conference and with the goals that Deion Sanders has set for himself, and talking about how his son is transferring with him. When there's no doubt that his sons were going to go with him. But also an interesting comment that his son will have to compete for the starting job, which is also a good thing by Deion, not just saying I'm going to name him the starting quarterback. He's going to have to compete. And also what he has told the Colorado players that are there. Dudes, interesting tidbits coming out of that. Stay with us on the All Sports, All Place Network. I am Ray Cruz. I am your host. We'll be right back after these.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays. They working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fonx D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at fonxdnetwork.com.
Yeah, check this out, man. It's your boy Young Dro. I'm in the building with A-South Sports, man. If you ain't here, you ain't nowhere, man. As soon as possible, get here. You dig? Yeah, check this out, man.
Welcome back to the All Sports, All Plays in the morning on the All Sports, All Plays Network. I am Ray Cruz. Welcome back. We're going to get into the college stories here that we were talking about earlier. The big things are the Deion Sanders story out of Colorado coming out on Sunday, which it was broken on Saturday evening after the Jackson State football game that he has signed with the Colorado Buffaloes in Colorado, in Boulder, Colorado. We had a press conference with him. He talked about some stuff. Let's break a little bit of some of that press conference down for you here a little bit on Deion Sanders. He is very blessed. He's using his Christian faith. I applaud him with that. He said God brought him to there. It wasn't the money issues or anything that's what God led him to come to Colorado. He likes what he has seen so far. He talked about the AD, how he kept approaching him by sending him pictures of the football stadium in snow, saying about an hour the snow will melt, blah, blah, blah. And then when Deion got there, they took him around town just a tad for a little bit there around town. So if you look at that situation there, he very likes it there. He had a press conference. They showed some highlight videos. I found some videos of him talking to the Colorado team. Colorado's, he pointed out blank, told him, I like the way he came in and did it. He did not sugarcoat it. He says, if you want to be here, you're welcome to stay. If you don't, hit that transfer portal. Because right now I'm bringing 10 players with him. He straight out said that. He straight out told this team that he's bringing 10 players with him from Jackson State. I don't know if he's bringing the number one recruit that he got that transferred, that committed last year, the quarterback and Hunter. I don't know if Travis Hunter's going to go with him over there. I don't know what's going to go on with that situation at Jackson State with that. There have players been hitting transfer portal all game, and we've been talking about the transfer portal. Deion's probably going to be heavily into that transfer portal. There is a word that come out. One of the Alabama players has hindered the transfer portal going to Colorado to be with Deion Sanders. Is the tide turning to where Deion Sanders is now going to get more of the high powerful recruits than what Tennessee is, what Alabama's been getting? Is he going to start tapping in? Now he's got that Power 5 moniker in the Pac-12, which is a Power 5 conference. He is now on the even competing field in the Power 5 level as the SEC. Can Deion Sanders alone drive people away from the SEC to the Pac-12 and turn Colorado Buffaloes into once was a championship team back in the 1990s when they had Cordell Stewart, which back then we didn't have the college playoff system. Back then AP had Georgia Tech at number one and a national champion, and the college had Colorado as national champions. So they split the national champions back then in 1990. So that's a situation that you got to look at here. Primetime is now got in a situation where now he's got a moniker of Colorado, which people don't think Colorado's got deep money, but they have deep money. And I think at the press conference, they had that Colorado congressman at the press conference. So Colorado's got something going up there with Deion liked. He took the job. There has been some people in the media that is questioning him by taking his job, but it didn't reflect on his press conference. He said that God took him from Jackson State to a place that was leading him to a place, and that Colorado was the place to go. He said, yeah, it's expensive to live in Colorado, in Boulder, but he likes the city. He said the crime rate is low. He's said all kinds of stuff. He has his little monikers and talking about what he's going to put in all those sayings he has in picture frames that's going to be put all over the place. But one interesting thing, one question they asked him was, how long will it take you to turn Colorado into a winning program? And his answer was, I don't put timetables on myself. I just know when it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And that's the most key, interesting thing that a coach can do. Some coaches put maybe 2, 3, 4 years, and then it doesn't happen, then they get blasted for it. Deion Sanders did his way, and he answered the question honestly. He says, I don't put a timetable on myself. It's going to happen when it happens. But it's going to happen. That's the key to Deion Sanders. He went in and he told him, you're going to come here and you're going to be a young man. I'm not going to babysit you, but you're going to do what I tell you and ask you to do. You're going to be a young man. You're going to be a gentleman to open up doors for women around here. And he laid it out. He said straight out, he said, these guys are going to be professional, polite, will open doors for women. They're going to be recognized around campus with respect. So you gotta praise Deion Sanders at how he handled the situation at Jackson State going to Colorado the way he left. He let the team know. Apparently, he let the team know in October. It's been hush-hush since October. They've been working on Deion Sanders to go to Colorado since October 2nd. It courted him up because Deion was not going to interfere with his program that he had at Jackson State. You say, yeah, I'm going to take this job, blah, blah, blah. He's prepared Jackson State for his departure since October 2nd. Preparing his team. Still coaching his team to the effect of going undefeated, going to win their championship. After the game, brought the team in, and he set them down. He said, you're going to be hearing some stuff that's coming out tonight. It's going to be true. I'm leaving Jackson State for the Power 5 conference, the Pac-12, going to Colorado. Got to Colorado, had a team meeting with the Colorado players. Point blank says, you might want to enter the transfer portal. Because he's bringing his luggage with him. And there have been rumors up to 10 players will be coming with him. And then he will grab more out of the transfer portal, some from like the states, some from the college program like Alabama. So that's going to be the situation there. But also we had some big-time recruits going into big-time players going from Power 5 conference into the transfer portal. The number one ranked player is Devin Leary, the quarterback transferring out of NC State. Let's go ahead and bring my man in here, Jay. Jay, the myth, the legend in Arizona himself, an Arizona State son, and an Arizona Cardinals fan, and an Arizona Diamondback fan. He's all Arizona all day, all night. What's up, Jay?
What up, Ray? What's going on, man?
Not much. What's up with you?
Trying to get my day started, roaming around these streets here.
Just roaming around?
Yeah, getting my day started. What we on right now? Have you already talked about Deion?
We're on Deion right now. We're on the transfer portal. We just left Deion, but we're on the transfer portal. We can go back to Deion. What do you want to talk about Deion, man? Go ahead.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people in their feelings, but Deion Sanders did exactly what he was supposed to do. He went to a non-competitive conference and made him competitive. He went to a team and a conference that people just overlook. I mean, I could say most college football fans haven't even watched an HBCU game. Now they've gotten a TV deal from this. You've got top-notch recruits looking at these schools now, so on and so forth. The things that Deion did, him leaving ain't changing nothing that he already laid down. They already got the TV deal. They already got the attention. There's players now looking at these HBCUs, and that's what the whole thing was about. Bringing awareness, bringing the light, shining the light on these schools. And he did that. And Deion left. He's in Colorado now. But what he did for the HBCU community is not going nowhere. He's already done it, set in stone. And, I am kind of upset that he went to Colorado. There's a couple of reasons there. I mean, number one, ASU, but Deion's a competitor, bro. He took on Jackson State, non-competitive. Then he went to Colorado. They ain't done nothing in 20 plus years. 20 plus years. He's not going to Alabama. He ain't going to Auburn. He ain't going to no big recruiting school. He's going to Colorado. Colorado, they Buckeyes or something?
No, the Buffaloes.
Buffaloes? See, I don't even know their damn mascot. That's a problem. But the Buffaloes, yeah, I didn't know that. But, you know, so he ain't going to no team that's already, you know what I'm saying, all he need to do is ice the cake. The cake's already baked. He going to a team where they said, here's some flour, here's some sugar, and here's a baking pan. Figure this shit out. And, you know, so I respect everything that Deion Sanders is doing. To everybody out there that's upset, get over it. He did his job. He did his job very well. And, you know, you're looking at a future NFL head coach.
Yeah, that's if he wants to go that route.
He will eventually.
I don't know if he wants to go. I know he's saying that he's leaving everything up to God. God's going to place him in jobs and situations that he wants him to go to. And that's what led him out of Jackson State to this. He said God sent him to sign to go to here. But they've been working on him since October 2nd. So he had plenty of time to tell Jackson State his plans, and he kept them up to date. He kept everybody up to date. And that's one thing I like about him, because he kept everybody. The team is up, not lost about it. The administration was not lost about it. So, I mean, he did his part. But the question is, now we've seen the transfer portal, and we've seen the effect of Deion Sanders now taking toll here, because a couple Alabama players have now hinted the transfer portal, and they said they're only looking at one team, that's Colorado itself. So he's starting to now Alabama's going to start feeling some of the effects of Deion Sanders sitting at Colorado in the Power 5 conference, that now he can challenge with Alabama in the recruiting class.
Well, look, he's going to get some top recruits, bro. It's still Colorado, and it's still Alabama we're talking about. So we're talking about a full recruiting class. Alabama's going to win. Nick Saban's still Nick Saban at the end of the day. But you're right. It's bringing something that the Buffaloes ain't had. And, you know, it's going to work both ways. There's going to be guys in Colorado that don't want to play for Deion.
Oh, he had it point blank. He went in there and told him, he said, y'all better go get your luggage. He got luggage coming with him, and you better hit the transfer portal. He even said that right to their face.
Because what did he say? Repeat after me. We make smart and tough players. If you ain't smart and tough, get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
You know, but it comes down to that, and I think a lot of people are focused on the wrong thing, and they're being a fan instead of, you know, and not even being a fan at this point. People are just hating. People are just upset, like, oh, how you motivate these kids to do this and do that, and then you just let them down like that. Well, first of all, if he was a true motivator and he did what he was supposed to do, the motivation ain't never left. He motivated them to understand who they were, what's inside of them, and how to achieve the best human being that they are. You know what I mean? And so him leaving that school ain't going to change nothing. It's going to make them it should make them more hungry. It should make them go after it harder. So, you know, at the end of the day, for the riffraff needs to stop. It is what it is. Deion did what he did. He going to Colorado. Now the fucking Pac-12 got to deal with his ass. You know, we ain't happy about that. Well, I ain't happy about that, you know, after the season we had at ASU. So, but again, man, you heard it here first. Deion Sanders will be the Dallas Cowboys head coach within 5 to 6 years.
Yeah. All right. So, since you're an Arizona State guy, how do you feel about the Oregon offensive coordinator, Dillingham, coming to be the head coach at Arizona State?
A little bittersweet. I'm not sure if anybody read that article I put out a couple weeks back about Sean Agano, and how I was thinking that Sean Agano should get the opportunity to take over that team. And most of it had to do with his Arizona ties. And, you know, being in Arizona, you know, being the college in Arizona. I mean, ASU is the college of Arizona. You know, you got U of A, but U of A is down in Tucson. That ain't no Phoenix thing. So, you know, ASU's the A college. So we got the stronghold. We should have the stronghold on the top recruits in Arizona. And Arizona puts out good recruits. And we haven't been doing that. There's no way that we don't finish in the top 2 of Arizona recruits every year. There's no reason we don't do that. And then going into the Western region in general, we should be in the top 10 every year. Every year, ASU should be in the top 10 in the Western region. And we're not. And those are big issues. And I think a lot of that could have been or should be or could be fixed quicker with having someone with Arizona ties, having someone with strong root right here and where you're recruiting. And so that's why I was saying Sean. After looking at Dillingham, though, you know, you can't really be upset. He has more experience than Sean with the situation. He's been through more scenarios. He's been through these different, situations and scenarios that he's going to see in the season. And then you're coming from Oregon. You know, you're coming from a Pac-12 powerhouse in all actuality. Over the last 10 years, they've been a Pac-12 powerhouse. Have they fallen off the last couple of years? Yeah. But a lot of teams in college football has, you know, since that transfer portal's opened. But, you know, offense, that's what Pac-12's about, offense. You know, you got to be able to put numbers on the board, and you got to be able to put yards on that stat sheet. If you're not doing the yards, you ain't getting the numbers, and if you ain't doing the numbers, good luck, because everybody else is putting up big numbers with UCLA and USC and Cal and all these guys. So, and you know, it's a double-edged sword right now, Ray. We're in a kind of a pickle situation in the Pac-12. You got UCLA and USC still on the fringe, talking about going to the Big Ten. As of right now, it's set in stone. You know, and who's next? Who's the next powerhouse in the Pac-12? That's what we're looking at right now, as far as, you know, everybody else in the pack. You know, USC and UCLA is gone. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts our spot in, you know, the rankings. That hurts our spot in a long ways. But if we're going to this playoff anyways, that's cool by me. Yeah. I'll take a shoe in.
Now, there have been rumors that DJ Ugalea, the quarterback out of Clemson, it could be, he's already hit the transfer portal, could be the quarterback at Arizona State in Dillingham. And the way he did with Bo Nix, if DJ does come there and he does what he did with Bo Nix and turn DJ around, how effectively that changed your complex of your offense for Arizona State?
Our number one position that fucked us over, excuse my French, this year was quarterback. We had Daniel. We had Daniels last year. He struggled, and almost identical player to me watching Emory Jones this year. Very, very similar to Daniels. Very, very similar mistakes. Very, very similar timid tendencies. A lot of the same issues that I saw watching Daniels last year was in Emory Jones. Then Emory Jones gets that concussion. He goes down, and we bring in the hometown boy, and he does great. But he's older. You know what I mean? He's not. Yeah. He's not going to take us to that promised land. So DJ by far, you know, that's our best choice as of right now. Looking at going into next year, that's going to be our best decision. He's a great talent. He has a wonderful skill set. Dillingham, like we talked about with Bo, you know, Bo was struggling, and you know, that goes back to what we were talking about with Deion Sanders and that motivation, man. You get with the right person, and they unlock. They give you that key to your talents. You know what I mean? Because you got them. They're inside of you. Sometimes people just need a little bit of oomph to get them over that hump, you know?
Now, Arizona's Dorian Singer is now, he hit the transfer portal too. Is that something that Arizona State could look at too, try to sway him to stay in state and just come to Arizona State?
Well, anytime you play for an Arizona team, it's always a possibility you stay in Arizona. I mean, unless they go in a good old Florida, you know what I mean? They don't want to leave that sunshine. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what Dillingham wants to do yet. And I think that what Dillingham is about to do for the next couple of weeks is assess. We're probably going to see a lot of youngsters play. I don't know, man. Dillingham, it's going to be a 3 to 4 year thing. It ain't nothing that's going to happen right away. Like I said, next year we're probably going to see a lot of youngsters. Unless we do get DJ and he says, fuck it, and, goes off. I think Arizona ASU will be in the Big Ten before too much longer after USC, UCLA. I can't argue that. U of A basketball is legit. Top 10 contender every season. ASU's been trending upwards in basketball. It's just our football programs, man, that makes me timid on that. I'm not, it's the football programs. Makes it difficult to kind of make that decision.
But if you look at Dillingham for Arizona State too, he's the age of 32 years old, so he can connect. He's a younger coach. He can connect with younger players because he's not too far off their generation gap too. So when he goes into recruiting, he can relate to them, and that might set some trends for them to go to Arizona State and trends get some recruits to stay in state too.
Listen, if anything like what Cliff is doing relating to the players out here, I don't want no coach relating to nobody. Fuck all that relationship. You better win. Don't relate to nobody. Cliff Queensberry out here relating. We see what relating doing. No. In all actuality, you're right. It makes it a little bit easier for those guys to make that decision. If they can go somewhere and say, hey, I'm going to get along with this guy. Hey, I'm going to enjoy my time around this person. Hey, when he's chewing me the hell out, I respect him because of this, and this. And that's a big thing because, listen, ain't nothing in this world peaches and roses all the time. And especially football. It's a long season. And, you going to get tore out. You're going to get tore down a few times by your coach. And it makes it easier to accept it when you're dealing with somebody that you respect and you can kind of relate to and get along to. And it makes it easier for the coach to get their point across when they're able to speak in a manner that they know, is connects with that person. So those are definitely big things. I think though, at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to recruiting, man. And this next season, to me, is kind of a wash unless we do go out and get DJ. Somebody like that. Outside of that, it's a wash.
Yeah, you got a lot of names, big names in this transfer portal, even from the NC State side. There's former starting quarterback Devin O'Leary is the number one ranked and spot on this transfer portal right now during some of the ESPN rankings. 6'1", 215 pounds. He's going to be a senior. His last year, he graduated from NC State. Now he wants to move on because of the quarterback battles at NC State and Morris and Finley there. So if you look at this too, that's somebody you could try to take a stab at. But right now, that rumor is that Georgia is looking at him too. So Devin O'Leary is going to be one of the highly touted quarterbacks out here that could possibly land with Dillingham too. Still there, Jay?
Ooh, I had to switch up.
Sorry. Yeah,
okay.
So if you're looking at Devin O'Leary too, Devin O'Leary's right there, sitting right there too. If Dillingham can get a hold of him and persuade him not to go to Georgia, then you possibly get a top-notch quarterback right there. Because, he's a very reliable passer, accurate passer. He's got that will to win. But he got injured. He's just a little bit injury-prone this year. So,
yeah. Hold on. Just getting in, man. I'm just getting in. No, you're right. But, that's one thing I don't think people are understanding about this transfer portal and what it did. Georgia's about to win it. Georgia looks like they're about to win a national championship. They lose their quarterback, and they're able to go grab another starting quarterback in no time. And, you know, that is going to make it very difficult for these other teams to, you know, dethrone them, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, I think recruiting is going to go by momentum for the next 5 to 10 years. You know, what team is performing? If you have a bad year, it's going to be hard that next year in that transfer portal. You're going to lose a lot of players. You know, there may not be as many players that want to come that way. So these next 2 or 3 years are very pivotal, especially with all the switching around with the conferences and whatnot. But Sam, to your point, I agree. Football does bring in more than basketball, and that's why I said our football teams are kind of lackluster at the moment. So I don't know if they'll really make that jump. I think they might stay here in the pack just because of that reason right now, to kind of strengthen that program before they make that switch. Because once they get to the Big Ten, if they ain't already ready, they're gonna get buried.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it here, if you're looking for a quarterback, I mean, this transfer poll's got some quarterbacks. You got Hudson Card that transferring out of Texas. He's in there too. You got Sanders out of Oklahoma State, who is a Oklahoma State starter. He's transferring out. I mean, if you pick your letter there on that, and then you got Austin Stoger. If you're looking for a tight end, that's been very good. He's a senior. He's leaving South Carolina. He's going to hit the transfer portal. If you're looking for a good corner, the number 12 ranked player in the transfer portal at corner is Grimes out of North Carolina. He's hit. Jimmy Horn Jr. out of South Florida, a great wide receiver at 5'9", 174 pounds. He's transferring out of South Florida.
That's going to be the position to watch for Dillingham. Skill positions, speedsters. What did Oregon? What was one thing that Oregon had every single year?
Wide receivers.
Track speed. Period.
Yep.
Every position, track speed, and I think that's one thing that we're gonna see a lot different here at ASU again, is getting back to those speedsters, getting back to those guys that were able to rip it up and, you know, cause issues in that middle of the field, cause issues over the top of the defense, you know, things like that. You know, I grew up watching the Keegan Herrings, the Jamals, the Simpsons. There's so many other guys out there, you know, so the Grices, and, you know, so I think that one thing that you watch ASU to do is make a move at running back. We're definitely going to make a move at running back. We're going to get us a really – I like Valladay, though. We got Valladay from Wyoming last year. He was really good this year for us. And I think we're going to make another move and get us a really good back there.
Yeah, and then Sam went on and said that NIL has leveled the playing field. Look at Nick Saban. He was lobbying for a 2-loss Bama, and it's just because he hasn't bought into the playing the NIL portal game, recruiting now, and he should include what NIL opportunities are available. Yeah, the NIL is now going to take away from some of the high school recruits too, if you look at it, because teams like Alabama and them, Georgia, who's going to play the transfer portal game, you know, the other smaller schools that are trying to get onto that level playing field, like the Big Ten school, they're going to end up in, like Iowa did. Iowa just went out and got McNamara, transferred out of Michigan, hit the transfer portal. He didn't last long. Iowa went there and recruited him heavily, and then boom, he's transferring to Iowa. So he's already been taken off out of the transfer portal. He's going to Iowa. So I mean, but at
the same time, that's going to be a problem. Not even a problem. That's going to be something that we're used to already, is seeing these powerhouses. And when we're talking NIL, bro, you go to Alabama, they got money waiting. You go to Georgia, they got money waiting. They booster clubs is thick. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's still, at the end of the day, ASU versus Alabama. Alabama's going to win that 9 out of 10 times. You know, you're talking about Wyoming State versus Michigan. Michigan will win that 10 out of 10 times. So regardless, even with the NIL, it does give opportunities. The transfer portal gives opportunities, but you know, the Messiah is the Messiah still. And that ain't changed.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it this too, I mean, there's been some good players coming in here. You got a cornerback that's leaving Virginia. I mean, I understand why he's leaving. He said he's not leaving because of the school. He's leaving because of the tragedy and stuff like that. He has to get away from stuff to make his mind right. And that's Fertrell Cypress, the cornerback there for Virginia. He's in the junior class. He's 6 foot, 184 pounds.
That was tragic. That stuff happened in Virginia. Just a piece.
He had 39 total tackles in 2022, along with 14 pass breakup on the year. He was named All ACC for his performance and given him multiple years of eligibility remaining. And he is 6 foot corner. He should have plenty of Power 5 interest as a transfer. So that's another thing that you can look at too if you're looking to upgrade your defensive corners right there. And I mean, he's a very good player out of Virginia. Much respect to him. The tragedy there. I can understand him too because that tragedy does leave a long effect. He could be suffering from what you call PTSD, with post-traumatic syndrome, which is you saw a tragic area there. So I mean, that's a lot of things that you got to look at Virginia too. Some of the players are just going to transfer because they just got to get their minds back straight.
Yeah, no, I agree. That if the guy that is Nick Saban cannot just walk in and say, you want a championship, you have to come to Bama, his glow has dimmed. NIL did that. No, you're right, Sam. And that's why I said, yes, it has opened the door for opportunities. And that is something that a lot of schools didn't have in the past. And I agree with you on that. But, you know, it's like instead of Nick Saban being in a title fight every offseason, he's now in a sparring match. You know, it's just he just went 70%. It didn't take him out of it. I mean, it just decreased a little bit. Nick Saban's still Nick Saban. Alabama's still Alabama. And then national championships are still natties, bro. And they got those. So those are three things that are constants that ain't going to change right now. But, I mean, I understand. I get where you're coming from. It has dimmed it a little bit. That is a big change to where Nick Saban can't say, hey, come get a championship. And if you don't come to Bama, good luck, you know. So, but at the end of the day, again, it's all going to come down to the money. It's going to come down to the NIL. It's going to come down, like you said, you need the opportunities need to be put on that table for people to see what's out there prior to making those choices. But at the end of the day, man, I don't think we're going to really know how much effect the transfer portal has had and the NIL has had for at least 5 years.
I beg to differ because North Carolina's about to feel the wrath of this transfer portal. They're about to lose just about everybody on the freaking football team in this transfer portal. I mean, they already got 11 players already transferring out. And then now they're talking about rumors that Drake May might be on his way out, even though he's a legacy player at North Carolina, even though he said that he's intended to come back. But then again, there's some money that could be offered him to persuade him. So, I mean, North Carolina, next year, North Carolina football team will feel the effect from this transfer portal.
I know you heard the phrase, don't beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
That's all that is. They just beating on the dead horse.
Yeah.
North Carolina down right now. That's all. ASU down right now. We going to get our ass beat up in the transfer portal too. But again, I mean, I don't think we really see the effects of it for 5 years. To really know what schools came down, what schools were elevated because of it, we know what Georgia and Alabama and LSU and those guys look like.
Yeah, Sam said Jackson State didn't get a 5-star just because of the Coach Sanders. That was NIL.
I don't know, Sam. I get what you're saying. But if Coach Sanders wasn't there and Jackson State called, they would have never picked up the phone. So, I mean, I get it. But Jackson State don't get them NIL deals for those guys if Deion Sanders is not on that sideline. Period.
Yeah, I mean, everything's going to be effective. Everything's going to be. He said, "I'm not saying." He said, "I'm not saying that," but it's just a lot of.
No, I get you.
Yeah, it's a lot of issues with this NIL and all this stuff, but there got to be NCAA's got to put a little bit of a rule on it, not having the guys be tampered with while they're still playing during the season. I mean, there have been rumors that Drake May's been offered $7 million from a college that it contacted him while he's still playing with North Carolina. And I mean, so they got to have a rule when these coaches can go out and contact these players if they are not even in the transfer portal, but they're trying to tamper with them. You know, there's got to be a temper clause on this thing to, stop focusing on players that are still playing.
Yeah, no, there's going to be some cleanup period that we're going to see. I mean, anything that's new, bro, there's going to be some issues. And, we were able to see them quickly. I think that there will be like a free agency period. Eventually, there's going to be a free agency period where you can't talk to these guys before and you can't talk to these guys after that period. I think also we're going to see where we have commits to where it's in their commission, their commit letter that they can't hit the transfer portal for 1 to 2 years. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to start seeing differently. But what is this, our second go around with the transfer portal?
Yeah, I think it's the second.
Yeah, so once we get a few of these, I think we'll know a little bit more about it. That's why I said it's going to be about 5 years till we really know what's up with this transfer portal things.
And then next year, you're talking about 2024, EA Sports is supposed to be launching their NCAA college football game back, and that's going to leave some NILs for all the teams who are going to buy into giving their logos to EA Sports and the player likeness and that too. So that could be even out some of the playing field, some of these colleges too. If some of these colleges don't want to do it like Notre Dame, they haven't even put their name in if they want to join back on the thing because they're independent school. So if they don't do it, some of their players can say, hey, look, I don't want to play for y'all because I'm not going to be part of a video game or something. Because some of these kids are like, hey, I want to be part of a video game and I'm going to go to a school that's linked with EA Sports and which colleges is giving their logos to, and it's going to be on the game. Because right now you're looking at few colleges. They said they got up to 150 Power 5, about 150 colleges, and probably about 15 Power 5 conferences said that they are still thinking about it.
Well, they gonna think about it until the money come out. And once that money come out, ain't no thinking. It's gonna be on and popping. No, they don't, Sam. They make enough money to where they don't care about things. To me, from what I see, they just sit back and kind of let things happen, and it is what it is.
Now, my question is it time for Emerson, the NCAA president, to step down and have somebody else run the company that's a little bit younger and knows a little bit more of this generation and more what that he knows? Because right now, he's running this like it's an old organization. Nothing has changed, not technology-wise, and the way the NIL is coming through. I think this is getting a little bit above over his head. Is it time for the NCAA president to step down and have somebody else take over the NCAA?
I think they should rotate it every 10 years anyways.
Yeah.
It's not, they don't own it. They don't own it, so I think they should rotate it every 10 years, get some new ideas, get some new blood in there and keep things moving. Or else, it's going to be the same. But that's one thing about college football that you can kind of say. It's been, what to expect. What you're going to get from college football year in and year out. And I think that's something that's going to be changing here very quickly. We're seeing it in front of us.
And then 2024 has now been officially announced since the Rose Bowl has signed on to the playoff committee being one of the spots. They're talking about 2024 is the earliest they can do it. They are going to try to hit that target date of 2024 to expand the playoff teams. How will that affect now? Because now you can extend that out to a 2-loss team joining the playoff system.
Listen, Alabama's going to be the first 2-loss team to make it. It's going to be some bullshit. It's going to be either Alabama or Ohio State. And I don't know. It's just going to give them another chance to win a championship on a mediocre season. So, but I think it's good for college football as a whole. As a whole, this is good for college football. It gives more players an opportunity to play on a bigger national level. You know, and again, that's something else that's going to affect the transfer portal.
Now, since they expanded that 12 playoff team, will that help some of these smaller conferences like the Conference USA, the American Conference, the other
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati and all them getting into the playoffs when they extend it? Because they're going to open some holes for these teams that are not in the Power 5 realm to get into this playoffs.
Well, I mean, over the last couple of years, we've had some surprising teams. Cincinnati, what was it, like 10 years ago? Houston. You've had Coastal Carolina's been good the last couple of years. Louisiana Lafayette has been good the last couple of years. But these little small schools, if they get the opportunity to go undefeated and get up in that ranking, yeah, they should have an opportunity to get in the playoff. Will they get their butt beat by Alabama? Probably. But it's still, that's something they should have. And, you know, you go to Coastal Carolina, you're not expecting to go to a national championship. Then you guys have an unbelievable season. You make it to the playoffs, get beat or whatever. But that next year, that transfer portal going to be hot.
Yeah.
That transfer portal going to be hot next year. And now you get to, you know, build on what you've done. And I think that's one thing that college football doesn't really have the opportunity to do to these smaller schools is, yeah, you had a good year, but do you get to build on that? And I think the transfer portal will help with that.
Yeah, and I think some of the things that they're going to put in implement is the Power 5 conference teams, their champions will get the first 4 seed. I think that's what they said. Conference champions will be sitting that first 4. So that might make it good because they will get the first 4 will get a bye, and then everybody else is playing everybody else to get up there to play those 4. So I mean, I think that's a very good way they're trying to build these games up. So yeah. I mean,
you'll probably get like a Texas versus some small school, and then winner play Georgia next, and you get Michigan and Ohio State will be in the playoffs together majority of the time. I mean, there's going to be some rivals in there too that are going to be good, so it'll be good for sports in general. It'll be great for college football, and it's going to be good for these kids. These kids that are going to college and, trying to make it, it's going to be better for them as well.
Yeah. I mean, college football is going to start getting interesting starting next season. When all this transfer portal and everybody's going to be watching recruiting. Because, I mean, now football is 365 days a year in college now. It's not just going from the college season. Then you have the opening things in December for all the signings. Now you got to watch the transfer portal and find out where these players are actually going in January. And then February, you start back up. You open up another signing period. And then then almost time for spring training, spring practice.
Yep. Yes, sir. Well, look, I got to get going. I got to get my morning started. But thank you for having me on this morning.
Not a problem.
I'll talk to you here soon.
All right, man. You have a good one. That was Jay Ness, that president, was it CEO, president, whatever he is on the All Sports All Place Network. Joining us for a little bit of insight on the NCAA. Sam, thank you for all your comments on there. Also with Damian, all-time listener. Thank you for your comments on the All Sports All Place Network here in the morning. We're talking a little bit about college football. Let's talk a little bit more. We mentioned some names in the transfer portal. There are a lot of names here, a lot of big names that are coming in here. Missouri, Dominique Lovett, the wide receiver, he's a sophomore. He's hit the transfer portal. We had Grimes out of North Carolina hit the transfer portal. We had Devin Leary out of North Carolina State hit the transfer portal. DJ Ugalea, the former quarterback at Clemson, starting quarterback at Clemson, he's hit the transfer portal because Klubnik is now going to probably be the full-time starter the way he played against North Carolina in the thing. I think he was a better quarterback anyway. I think he should have started out the season. But they gave DJ a chance down in Clemson. He didn't work out. He's to be a junior class. So, I mean, he's going to be, and the transfer portal rumors is that Gillingham is looking at him possibly going to Arizona State since he took over the job there. Eli Spencer out of Charlotte, the transfer wide receiver. He's in the sophomore class. He's gonna be available. He's at Dutch Fork High School in Emory, South Carolina. He signed with Charlotte as a 3-star prospect and was tied for the team lead with 6 touchdowns in 12 games in the debut season, which he was named Conference USA Freshman of the Year. And he followed up with an excellent 2022 season, putting 943 yards, 57 receptions with 9 touchdowns. So that's another thing too. I told you, Fernell Cypress, he's getting out of Virginia not just because of the team, of the coach. He's just getting away from the situation down what happened at that, and what a tragic situation happened in Virginia. We got to keep those people in prayers. And then the Idaho people, they got killed. The twins and all those people got killed in the house outside the campus there. Let's keep those people, their family, in prayer too. Hopefully they have not found a suspect in that case yet. They're still working lead. Hopefully they'll get some tie downs on that situation. It's very sad as a parent myself, sending your kids off to college and then they coming back in body bags, coming back in the coffin and in boxes and stuff, like what the Idaho father of the twins said. That's very sad. And you're hoping you're sending your person to college to learn and get an education and get a degree and helping them and progress in their life, not going to college and not coming back and not even proceeding that issue and getting your degree and you settled and you're now no longer here. So let's keep those guys in prayers, and let's have a moment of silence for the Idaho shooting victims and the state University of Virginia's football teams and their victims and their parents. Thank you. So if you look at what's going on in college football, like I said, college football used to be, you go from the season, then you had to wait to February to the signing period. Now you got the early signing period in December. So you go from the season to the early signing period in December. You got the bowl games, and after the bowl games, then you don't see anything else about college football until February, when they had the traditional signing period, and then you got the spring practice, and after your spring practice, you have to wait the fall ball. But now you got everything that's going on in college football. You got the transfer portal you got to watch out for. You got to find out what these guys are entering the transfer portal. I think they got over 6,000, supposedly estimated about 9,000 names are supposed to be inside this transfer portal at the end of the season. So you got to look at that situation. You got to follow that, what's going on. It's no more off season for college football. So if you got these shows, you're going to have a lot of shows still going on talking about college football and the transfer portal. The college, I call it A7, All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown Show. We will be dealing into basketball season after the football season over, but we also going to keep up with the trend of tracking these players for everybody on the All Sports All Plays Network. Where they going from the transfer portal, who they going to keep up the progress with Deion Sanders at Colorado's, his situation, their situation up there, how he's improving the team, and what's going to go down in Jackson State between all the 10 players that he's talking about bringing up there. So we know a few players up there. It could be, we're going to look at the number one recruit from last year, Travis Hunter, see if he's moving from Jackson State up to Colorado too. So we got to look at some of these situations that's going on in college football here on the All Sports All Plays Network. So, and let's dip in a little bit about Major League Baseball and the free agency and all that, where we stand here. There has been an offer on the table for Aaron Judge, that came from Baltimore. I think it was $90 million or something on for 20 years. It has been offered to him. We know Cashman has been re-signed by the Yankees, so that's going to be he's taking his time on Aaron Judge. There's rumors that he could re-sign back. They could re-sign back with the Yankees, the team that had him. There's been rumor that he's been out. He's been out to San Francisco. Been down to Texas. So he's been getting offers here and there, and the one that would hit, I think it was the Baltimore Orioles offer, was 90. I think it was either 90 million for 20 years. I have to look at that and see what they offered him. But let me see if I can find that story. on Aaron Judge. Let's see if I can find that story here. I'm trying to figure out where I saw that story. I seen the story. I don't know if it was a rumor or if it was actually an offer for Aaron Judge. Let me see here. Okay, here's one. I've seen the story right here that they are saying that a 30-year-old met with the Giants on November 21st in San Francisco at Oracle Park, as well as texting the Warriors star Stephen Curry about the potential of playing in the Bay Area. That was a conversation there. There's also been a conversation that Wednesday that the Yankees have offered Judge a deal in the realm of 8 years, $300 million. New York potentially could increase that offer depending on their competition for the four-time All-Star. The current offer would pay Judge an average of $37.5 million per season. Judge previously rejected a 7-year contract extension from the Yankees worth $30.5 million. Oh yeah, this is the one. This is the rumor that I found right here. It was the Orioles. Somebody posted the Orioles offering him $900 million for 20 years to play for the Baltimore Orioles. I don't know how true that is. I think that's just a pop-up gander. I think that was just the Orioles trolling the Yankees, to bringing that rivalry up there. But this right here looks like a little bit more of a legit offer there. I think San Francisco is in the running. I knew New York's still in the running. I don't know if any other team is going to jack up there. I don't know if the Dodgers is going to jack up there, of how that's going to be around. So we don't know exactly what's going to go on here. Aaron Judge, he's still out there. Van Lerner just signed a deal with the Yankees. He's going to be up in the Yankees, reuniting with Scheisser up in the Yankees organization. DeGrom, I think, is now signed with the. Let's see. I think he signed with Texas. Here, Jake. Let's see here. Yes, he did. Jake DeGrom, who felt is the best starting pitcher in baseball, has signed a 5-year contract with the Texas Rangers. So now he's off the table. Turner's off the table. Turner has now gone from the Dodgers to the Phillies. So I think that was an $11 million deal that he did that. So now he's off the tables. Braves are still having, look like they're not going to sign Swanson. I think the rumor has that Swanson might be on the way to Chicago. I don't know how true that could be. We're going to be looking at it in coming months. The Mets signed Justin Verlander a 2-year deal, reported $86 million day after losing Jake DeGrom. So the Yankees replaced him with Van Leonard. So that's a huge news there. Like I said, Turner's gone. Trying to find my tracker here. Let's see here. I found one tracker here. Like I said, Turner's now went from the LA Dodgers to the Philly. Jake DeGrom is now from New York to Texas. Ewan Diaz stays in New York. He's a New York Met. Justin Verlander went from Houston to the Mets. Joseph Hubre, Chicago White Sox to Houston. Robert Suarez stays at San Diego. Zach Eflin went from Philly to Tampa. Anthony Rizzo stays with the Yankees. Tyler Anderson went from the Dodgers to the Los Angeles and Anaheim, the Angels. Rafael Palmeiro stays at Houston. Clayton Kershaw stays with the Dodgers. Jock Peterson stays with the Giants. Martin Perez, Texas. He stays with Texas. Chris Martin went from the Dodgers to Boston. Colorado Ezavini went from Colorado to the Angels. Mike Cleveland went from San Diego to the Chicago White Sox. Got Kyle Gibson, went from Philly to Baltimore. We have Matt Boyd, went from Seattle to Detroit. Carlos Santana went from Seattle to Pittsburgh. Amir Candy-Iraro went from Detroit to Washington. Miguel Castro went from the Yankees to Arizona. Jose Urania stays at Colorado. Anthony Gose stays at Cleveland. Joely Rodriguez went from the Mets to the Red Sox. You have Luke Elliott from Cleveland to Cincinnati. Shelby Miller from San Francisco to the Dodgers. Trevor Gott, Milwaukee to Seattle. Jesse Chavez, he's got a minor league contract with the Atlanta Braves. Stays with the Atlanta Braves for a 1-year deal. And then we got the last one on the list is Nick Anderson. Went from Tampa Bay to Atlanta on a 1-year deal. So that's all the people that have signed right now at the free agency. You still got a lot of minor leaguers out there. Minor league contracts are still out there that's got to be called up to the majors for a tryout and see if they can make the team. So that's just still out there right now. We still got Aaron Judge is still out there. We don't know exactly what's going on with him. We got Dan Swansby for the Atlanta Braves. He's still out on free agency, but rumor is he could be going to Chicago. That could be made anytime now. So we got a lot of stuff going on in Major League Baseball. I have to get out of here now. Thanks for watching the show today. My name is Ray. I have been the host on the All Sports All Plays Morning Show. On the All Sports All Plays Network. I cannot be here tomorrow. I have some stuff going on outside the organization. Another organization that I am doing for a foundation for autism. So I have to meet with the founder of that organization too. So if the show does not come on tomorrow, it will be on Thursday. I will be back here on Thursday. So like I said, I cannot be here on Mondays and Fridays because that's my job with Uber. And usually I'll be here Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Just Wednesday I cannot be because I don't have the meeting with the foundation founder with the Jessica Green Foundation for Autism. So I have to deal with, I got that going on tomorrow. So I have a little bit going on leeway here. So I should be back on Thursday. If I can't, I think this meeting should wrap up on Wednesday. I also have another meeting on Wednesday too. So and it might be back on Thursday this week. I have to play it by ear right now. I know next week I will be back at the normal time, which will be Tuesday, Thursday next week. I will be back at those times here on the All Sports Place Morning Show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for Sam and his great comments on the show. Damien, like always, top follower here on the All Sports All Plays Network. You can see him and his comments going on all the shows here on the network. Thanks for chiming in on the benefits of the Deion Sanders and Brian Kelly situation, how they both different of leaving their programs. So until we meet again, ladies and gentlemen, it's been Ray Cruz on the All Sports All Play morning show on the All Sports All Plays Network. See you later.
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All Sports All Plays.